For me, anatomy is one of the neatest things on this planet. That's why Lewis and I started Aneatomy Lab, so everyone can see how neat anatomy is, instead of just me and Lewis knowing about it. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Aneatomy Lab. We're going to call this episode Taking the Test. Now sometimes when you take an anatomy course, you have to take practical exams. That's not very neat. These tests are timed. There's only so many seconds per station, usually about a minute. And that's just not enough time to answer a question. So how do you make the best grade possible on this test? I'm going to tell you how to do it. Now some of these tips should make taking the practical exam a whole lot of fun because they're going to take all the stress out of it. How neat is that? Follow me. Now when you come into a practical test, it's obvious you're not going to know all the answers because you're not the one that set up the test. So don't worry. What you do is if the pin is in a structure that you're not quite sure of, find something that you do know and just move the pin. How neat is that? Whoa. Make sure you put in something you know what the answer is. There. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. Voila! Now, one of the things about taking an anatomy practical exam is the stations are timed. And there's nothing you can do about it because you didn't pick the time. So if you're at a station and you haven't got the answer yet, and the beeper goes off and you're supposed to move like this, beep, here's the maneuver you need to master. Just keep answering the question and have like the bottom half of your body move to the next question and leave the top half over here, like this. Just keep it looking natural, just all natural. And about the only thing that can mess up a maneuver like this is if you have a student following you in the exam that's a little too aggressive and wants to answer a question when you're still trying to answer the question. And once her station all by herself, and you got it, you're not quite finished. Well, you get the idea. Just be very, very careful who you stand next to in the practical exams, not somebody like this. Now, if you come up with a test question and you take a look at it and you don't recognize it, and that pin's in something and you just don't remember what it was, don't panic. What you want to do is try to get the pin to point at something else, something that you know. If it doesn't move, try blowing on it first. If that doesn't work, just try their thing. You want to get to the point at something, just point it somewhere else because you don't know what that is. So just be very, very subtle. You don't want to be too loud because the test is going on. So just. Wow, there's some anatomy out today. Okay, the next step. Just in case you may have noticed, this isn't really a real test answer blank we're using here because Rodney forgot to print them off for me. But that's okay because this is just a demonstration. It's not a real test. So, again, you just have 1 minute per station, and that's not enough time to answer a question. So if you don't know the answer, and you're looking and you can't remember what it is, you need more time, just wait about 5 seconds before the timer goes off and raise your hand and say, "Professor, I can't find the pin." And then they'll stop the timer, and they'll walk over, and they'll point it where you say, "Oh, okay," like you just saw it the first time, just like real surprised. "Okay," like this. "Oh, there it is." And then they'll go back and they'll reset the timer, and you got another minute. How neat is that? Okay, sometimes when you come up to a question, you're not going to always know the answer because you either didn't study it or you forgot it. Well, if you just don't remember it, look around the room and see if there's anything else that kind of looks like it that's sitting out that you might want to be able to use. So for instance, look up here. There's some other horse legs up on the shelf. So maybe taking a peek at those will help with the question right here. So just as long as you keep it natural looking, it's okay. Just simply avert your eyes over and see what there is to see. Ever so naturally, just kind of look up like this. But you know, you can't make it look like you're looking because you've got to just kind of make it look like you're just part of the testing environment and just kind of look up and you know, and just see if you can see like the same situation up there. Okay, now what we have here is kind of like plan 2, plan B on trying to look at something, you know, in the environment to help you answer a question. So if it's lower down, remember those last things are up high up on the shelf, if it's lower down, it's a little easier to do. Just kind of take a look at the specimen, and if you're not quite sure what the answer is, just kind of look it around, you know, just kind of keep it natural and see, like that? Nobody's going to notice that. You just write down the answer and hope you get it right. How neat is that? Camera rolling, Rodney? Well, if all else fails and you've studied for this test and you know you're not going to do good, and you just really don't want to take it, there's one thing you can do to put it off. There are certain questions in a practical exam that are called rest stops. There's no question here. There's just a card that says rest stop. See? Just rest stop. What you want to do is if you're in this timed practical and you have a minute per station and you just don't want to take the test, if it starts at 1 o'clock, come to a rest stop and start there. That way, your test starts at 1:01 and you can put it off for a whole other minute.